Hello everyone, welcome to the second video of Decimal Point. Our today's topic is budgeting for beginners, the only system that actually sticks. You know the feeling at the end of the month, you check your account and you genuinely cannot explain where the money went. You were not extravagant, you didn't do anything crazy, but it's just gone. And the next month looks exactly the same. The coffee was $6. The streaming service was a few bucks. The takeout was fine because you had a long day. None of it felt like a decision. But here, the thing, it all was, every single one of those was a choice you made without a plan. Here, what most budgeting advice gets wrong, it treats this like a willpower problem. Like you just need more discipline, but that's not it. The people who are good with money are not more disciplined. They just have a better system. Most budgets fail for one of the three reasons. The first one is they are too rigid. So one bad week blows the whole thing. Second one, they are too vague. So you have no idea if you are actually on a track or not. And the third, they are built on guilt, which means they feel like punishment from day one. None of this work long term. Most people can tell you their income to the dollar, but ask them what they actually spent last month on food, on subscription, on random things, and they genuinely don't know. The gap right there is where the money disappears. You cannot manage what you can't see. Think of your income as a jar that fills up every month, but the jar has dozens of tiny holes at the bottom. Small leaks you barely notice individually. The problem is not the big expense, it's the slow invisible drains that nobody tracks. Here an exercise that shock almost everyone. Pull up your last 2 months of credit card statements and bank account statements. Add up every subscription and recurring charges, not your rent or not your mortgage, just the small stuff. Most people find between $200 to the $400 a month in charges that they would completely forgotten about. The framework we are going to use is called 50, 30, 20. And before you think this is just another rigid rule, no, it's not. It's a map. 50% of your take-home pay goes to needs, 30% to wants, and last 20% to savings and paying down the debt. The 50% needs category covers everything that keeps the lights on and the roof over your head, rent or mortgage, groceries, utilities, transportation, insurance. These are non-negotiable. The goal is to keep this bucket at or below half of what you take home. The 30% wants bucket is where most people gets this completely wrong. They either eliminate it entirely, which is why people quit, or they never define it at all. This is your guilt-free spending. Coffee, streaming, dinners out, hobbies. You are allowed to spend here on purpose. The 20% bucket is the one that changes your life, but it's the one that most people skip completely. Half of it goes to saving and investing, and the other half goes towards paying down debt faster than the minimum. This is the bucket where financial freedom actually gets built. Let's make this real. Say your take-home pay is $4,000 a month. That's $2,000 for needs, $1,200 for wants, $800 for saving and debt. That's it. You don't need a spreadsheet with 47 categories. Here is how you actually build this in about an hour. Step 1. Figure out your real take-home number, not your salary. What lands in your bank account every month after taxes and deduction. This is the only number that matters here. Step 2. Look at the last 2 months of transaction and sort them into fixed and variable transaction. Fixed expenses are the same every month. For example, rent, phone bill, subscription, etc. Variable transaction is everything else, like groceries, eating out, gas, random purchases. Don't judge it yet, just see it clearly. 3. Drop every expense into one of these 3 buckets. Some things are obvious. Rent is a need, a concert ticket is a want. Some things are judgmental calls, and that's fine. The goal is not perfection, it's clarity. We are building a map here. Step 4. Compare your actual spending to 50, 30, 20 targets. And here, where most people get a surprise, oftenly the wants bucket is fine. It's the need bucket that's the overflowing. Rent that eats 60% of your take home pay will break any budget, no matter how disciplined you are. This is most important. If your rent alone is 60% of your income, cutting letters won't save you. The math does not work. The biggest financial lever most people have is not what they spend on fun, it's what they pay for housing. That's the number to fix. The first trap is over-engineering it. People build spreadsheet with 40 categories, color-coded tabs, and the formulas that would impress an accountant, and then they open it once and never go back. A budget you actually use beats a perfect budget you abandon every time. Trap 2. The all or nothing mindset. You go over budget on a Friday night out and your brain says, well, the month's ruined now, so you spend the rest of the month not tracking at all. One bad day does not erase 29 good ones. Reset and keep going. Trap 3. Confusion between money in the account versus money available to spend. There is $3,000 in your account, but $2,500 out of it is already spoken for by rent, bills, minimum payments coming in next 2 weeks. That $500 is not extra, it is just not gone yet. Here, what actually makes a budget stick long term? 3 things. 1. Use an app, not a spreadsheet. 2. Do a 10 minutes weekly check-in. Sunday works well for most of the people. 3. Automate your savings on a payday before you spend it. That's the whole system. An app like YNAB, Mint, or even a simple notes app does something a spreadsheet can't. It always in your pocket. The moment you spend something, you logged it. 30 seconds, that small habit. Logging as you go is what separates people who stay on track from people who lose the track. The weekly check-in is 10 minutes once a week. You are not rebuilding the whole thing, you are just checking the status. Where did I land this week? Anything to cough? Is there any adjustment required? Once you do this for a month, it will automatically become an habit after a certain period of time. The most powerful change you can make: automate your saving the moment you get your salary, not at the end of the month. The day money hits in your bank account, set up an automatic transfer to a separate account, even if it's just $100. So saving becomes the default, not the afterthought. And here is the honest part. The first month of budgeting will feel weird. You will catch yourself going over in places you didn't expect. That's not failure, that's the data. By month 3, the category clicks. By month 6, the saving account starts to look real. The system earns your trust gradually. In 12 months with this system, you will able to build emergency fund. You will also able to reduce one debt meaningfully, and you might already have started investing even a small amount, not because your salary has increased, but because you have stopped money to be invisible. Because of the system, now you are efficiently able to control the flow of the money that you already have. Budgeting is not about restriction, it's about intention. The difference between people who feel financially stuck and people who feel financially independent, usually it's not an income, it's whether they know where their money is going before it's gone. Now you have a system, the rest is just showing up. Thank you for watching this episode. I hope this video clears your concept on how actual budgeting works for beginners. Please like, comment and subscribe. I will see you in the next video with one more interesting topic. Thank you.